not with the gang, what the is you doing? Be quiet.
Gang, long as you fuck with the gang, everything gon' be okay. If you see us coming and walking your way, you best say what up to the gang. If you got a problem, then we on the way. Don't nobody fuck with the gang, long as you fuck with the gang, everything gon' be okay. If you see us coming and walking your way, you best say what up to the gang. If you got a problem, then we on the way. Don't nobody fuck with the gang. I'm with the G-A-N-G, my nigga Shell, TMNT, we blowing up like TNT. We hit the top, no calling my phone. You'll get dial tones and AT&T. Pretty blue skies is all I can see. You with the gang, you get it for free. Ain't no disguise, just me and the guys until I D-I-E, watch me get fancy. My girl a Bentley, your girl a Camry. That ain't a candy, that's just a Cammy. We don't need candy, ain't nothing sweet. I got a space on the top shelf next to my granny, that's for my Grammys. I feel like Penny, how my family proud, yeah.
Brilliant shit.
We got good vibes going in here, man, and we're going to keep them going, too. This is the Qualified to Motivate podcast. I'm your host, Dante Quitman. I got my main co-host in here with me.
Yes, sir. Bryson Rodier. You know
Cherry Top. Call him Cherry Top. Man, we got some special guests in here, man. The first rock band to ever come bless the podcast, the Rusty Nutz.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
It's a dope name, by the way, man.
Shit.
Where'd you come up with that?
That's the first question right there.
Well, I guess it's you, right?
That's me.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Like, I spent about a year and a half in a house that didn't have any heat or really any AC.
Right.
And I got really into huddling in one room, you know.
Got to.
Just for survival.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right.
No,
Well,
I'm just
let's go
joking.
now. You good.
No, you know, when they first started getting on the internet games and stuff like that, you know, that was my call. That was a Russ T.
Oh, the
Nutz.
gamer tag.
Yeah, but it was like early on, and then
What game?
we'd sit there and play the first Call of Duty when they got up.
When you
and
say first Call of Duty, though, there's so many. So, like,
the first
like Call of Duty.
do Call of Duty,
That's
and
it.
we'd sit there with
OG.
with blankets on and radiator heaters between our legs in that one room
yeah.
for like
busy.
14 hours a day because you couldn't go nowhere so fucking
I like
cold.
it, man. So let's go down the line, man, and introduce yourselves. Who I got on the end down there, man?
Trey.
That's what's up. Big Trey in the house, man.
Big Trey, man.
He's beating me out for best hair on the podcast. I usually got that in the bag.
I can never do that.
I usually got that in the bag. He's giving me a run for my money, man. We let him know your name. You. Yeah, you.
Me?
Yeah, boss, man. What's
Me,
going on?
Russ T. Nutz.
Rusty Nutz. That's it. Hot
me.
damn.
And I'm Jakeb Reel.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Jakeb Reel.
Damn right.
Well, welcome to the show, y'all.
Welcome to
Appreciate
the
y'all
Appreciate
for pulling up
Yeah,
and being
man.
here with us.
Appreciate y'all having us, man. This
Yeah,
place
for
is
sure.
badass. Y'all are awesome.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate
We've
it.
been jamming. We've already been jamming here like an hour.
Yeah.
People are cool as shit.
Yeah, we don't usually get asked to things like this.
No,
so.
no.
Hey.
People usually don't want to talk to us.
Man, listen, man, that's why we brought y'all on here. This is the Qualified to Motivate podcast, man. And even if you might not think that you are, what do y'all say makes y'all qualified to motivate? Like aspiring rock artists, comedians, people out there, just regular people in general. What do y'all think makes y'all qualified to motivate some folks, man?
I'll go long form if you don't answer.
You go long for them.
All right.
Let's hear it.
Well, you see, no, I don't think motivating people is not like a qualification.
Okay.
It's it's just going, okay, well, you guys want to do this? Well, all right, we better get off your ass and do it. Let's do this,
That's
you
what
know.
it takes.
And you've already got the motivation in you, you know. That's the thing. The kids, that's what we were talking about earlier with like the forks in the wrong place and you're getting irritated because somebody put the forks in the wrong place.
Right.
You know, that's you.
Yeah.
So the motivation's already there. You just got to kind of get out of your own way. That's
Right.
it. There's no qualification for me to motivate somebody other than go, well, have you tried this?
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Just a different perspective.
that's like
that is the
Got a different
qualification.
answer.
Different
you know?
perspective.
Yeah.
And, like, trying to look at it from all perspectives.
Right.
Yeah.
There's not one right way to do anything.
Exactly.
You can do the same job 4 different ways, but as long as the job gets done, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's something I really, like, been thinking about recently is, like, everybody's got different definitions of words in their own head. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you might be talking about something with somebody and, like, the word y'all are using is the same, but the definition you got in your head is different. So it's like
Absolutely.
you're not even talking about the same thing, but you're using the same word. So
You're
everybody's confused.
Yeah, you're the master of your own perception. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
Totally.
Yeah. Weird.
I think about that too because we've been doing a lot of AI art.
Oh man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, here's my perspective as a comedian and as an entertainer on the AI perspective. So what I do is I put in this prompt and I say I want a clown woman face, on a lady's body, whatever it is you put in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, but every time you hit that button, that same prompt gives you a different picture. Right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so here's the thing. I'm a comedian. I'm standing on stage, and I'm out there and I'm painting a picture for somebody so that I can give this, bam, just get them right at the end. And I'm painting this big picture
Yeah.
so they can get it in their head. That's AI. Because every person has a different perspective of what you're saying to them, and they're creating this own image in their head. And so the punchline's going to hit them different. That's why you offend some people and you don't offend others.
Yeah.
Man.
Have y'all seen that thing where it's like what people are seeing in their minds is different for everybody? So it's like if you say
Absolutely.
imagine an apple, it's like some people see like a real world apple in their head, and like some people see just like the black and white outline of an apple. Like some people's minds just work so much different than
Somebody
your
sees nothing,
Yeah, for real. Somebody sees nothing. That's so
The
real.
fuck's
though.
an apple?
We call those
like
people
5 levels.
psychopaths.
Yeah. Nah, but we got to go back to what you think qualifies y'all to motivate. So everybody go.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Start
from-
with
I'm
Trey.
from
I ain't
Mount-
heard Trey.
I'm-
Let's start with Trey. I ain't heard Trey say nothing. Yeah,
Shit.
why?
Yeah.
Hell, I didn't know he could sing until 2 months ago.
What makes you
shit,
qualified to motivate, Trey?
Qualify, because I'm a badass, man.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's the first person that wasn't modest about it. God damn it.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? He's slinging good hair. He got the yellow chucks on. He a badass. That's what it is.
Qualified.
Qualified. That's it.
Now, where
Let
are my
you-
qualifications?
Hell yeah. We'll let you, Jake.
Nah. Oh, you go ahead if you want to.
No, you go ahead.
Are you finished?
I was working today. He's like, man, we got to do this podcast. Can you come get me down in Shelby? Shelby's like an hour and a half. I drove an hour and a half to get him, and he crawls out of a hole. It's like 9 foot deep. There's a backhoe there, and so we were
Covered in fucking shit mud.
mud. He just come from covered in mud. He plays
Ran
the
home,
guitar.
took a shower.
He's a badass.
Came
man.
straight here.
Good man.
And if that ain't motivation to make you do something,
Yeah.
I don't know what is.
Yeah, it's
What
hard
is?
work. You know what motivation is? It's hard work.
Stay vigilant. You got to stay vigilant on whatever you do.
Stay vigilant.
Stay
You know, and I was sitting there thinking like, it's like I feed on rejection and
Me too.
disrespect.
Yeah.
Me too.
I feed on rejection and
I was thinking about that
disrespect.
earlier.
with these
Like,
boys,
I
man.
need people to quit telling me like, "Oh, you're doing a great job," or "You're fucking awesome," or whatever, and tell me I fucking suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me I can't do it. You know,
Yeah,
like,
do it even better.
Now I'm gonna show you something. Yeah.
That's what I tell these guys. I go, what's the first thing you would say to a musician or an artist? Nobody cares if you're there. Nobody cares who you are.
Nobody gives a fuck.
And as soon as you can get that through your head, you can start moving up the ladder.
Like you all do stand up. You know, like you go up there in front of, and stand up's hard because there's no sound. So you got to do it with just your voice, you know, and that's hard.
It
You know,
is.
that's hard.
Yeah.
It really is, man. What got y'all started in the rock music, man? What put y'all onto that? What made y'all come together, start putting out that good music?
So if you want to know what got me into rock music, I loved comic books and I loved the rock band Kiss. And when I was about 4 years old, the two collided. And ever since I saw Kiss, I wanted to be a rock star.
You ever paint your face?
Of course.
All right. Yeah.
3 Halloweens in a row.
And he didn't even go nowhere.
And so I think it was the last time I did it, I was 12. And that was like the last time I was able to go. You know, you get old.
Yeah.
And you know, but then if you love Halloween, you're just content sitting on the porch in a costume handing out candy or something.
Oh,
you know?
man,
but
you remember-
nobody does Halloween no more. But
You remember when your like last Halloween came around when it was really real, and you're like, man, this just ain't for me anymore.
Halloween's always it's my favorite.
I mean, I'm not saying
my
it's
favorite.
not.
I was
for you, but
7.
It's like you can't be the trick or treater anymore.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
a sad.
You know,
thing.
well, I'm from the mountains of western North Carolina, and apples are evil. If you know what I'm talking about with the
fuck's an
religion and
apple?
stuff. So we talk about Halloween. I think remember we was so our family we're first cousins, and our family used to go around to local churches all over the Southeast playing in a gospel quartet. So we would always
Quintet.
be in the quintet. Yeah, there was 5 of them quintet.
Just
Southern gospel.
voices, or was there like music with it?
There was music, backing tracks,
backing
yeah, like
tracks. And,
Day
it was
Wind.
like a ministry or whatever. So our real grandpa died when I was about 5. He was about
Rest in peace.
I was 7 months old.
7 months old, and then our grandma married the preacher of our church.
Man.
And he retired when we were kids, and then they started doing a gospel group.
Right.
And I sat behind a drum set for the first time when I was 9 years old at a church. And so if it wasn't for the religion,
Yeah.
or whatever. But I remember us going to singing at one thing, and there was this, it was a little bitty church up in Old Fort somewhere. It might be on the Andrews Geyser Road. And this preacher scared the shit out of our family about Halloween.
Yeah. That's
So like,
the devil.
and I'm like 4 years old and Trey, and I'm like, I remember exposing Trey to like rock music. Like I had this Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne stuff, and it scared the living shit out of me. It scared the shit out of me. I'm like 11 years
it's
old.
like it's late at night.
And
Okay,
I'm
I'm like fucking 5 years old.
Yeah.
This motherfucker like come out of the car. Like we're gonna listen to some music. All right, it's dark as hell. I'm already scared because it's fucking dark. You know what I'm
It's
saying? Like
Sabbath.
Yeah.
we're in the car. And he puts on Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath.
The scariest music you can
He
think.
comes, it's like, what is this that stands before me?
Yeah.
Figure in black. You know, like.
So around that same time,
I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of this car, dude.
around that same time, they were singing at this church, and I remember this preacher up there. He'd be like, and you know that band AC/DC, and a highway to hell. And then he started going on about Halloween. You can't let your kids go to Halloween. It's going to burn in hell.
Damn.
And so I go back home, and I'm like, y'all motherfuckers ain't gonna take Halloween from me, are you? You know, they're like, my dad's like, they ain't taking Halloween from my son. My mom's like, I don't know what I should do. My family, you know, all this stuff. His parents are like, there's no more Halloween. It's the devil.
Oh, man.
And no, but
Oh yeah, so y'all was just rebels from the start.
yeah. So like when our family was like,
Yeah.
we would be real young kids, like, you know, I was 9, 10, 11. My dad was real big into hard rock and metal, and my mom was in the gospel quartet with his dad and his mom and our grandpa and his son. And they would be in there singing, and I fell in love with Southern gospel music. I mean, I love gospel, and I am so grateful for the upbringing I've had with my grandparents and my family, and being in the church.
Yeah.
But they would be in there practicing, you know, and doing scales and singing to all this music. And we'd be in there, I'd sneak in these DVDs, these like Kiss DVDs.
Judas
and
Priest.
Judas Priest. We'd be in there rocking out to Judas
Led Zeppelin.
Priest, Pink Floyd, Led
Like
Zeppelin.
quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
real
and,
quiet.
Yeah.
But real good.
Yeah,
Real
and like, you know, jamming out, you know, and then I sat behind a drum set for the first time in the church when I was 9 years old, and my mom said, you like that in there, you know? I thought I was fascinated with it. I said, yeah, and I was about 8 or 9 years old. She said, you want one for Christmas? And I said, yeah, that'd be awesome, you know?
Yeah.
Love Kiss, you know? And so I wake up on Christmas morning, and my dad is like, it's like 4:30 in the morning, dude.
Yeah.
And so, like, looking back on it now, my dad worked hard, Baxter, you know, he just retired, working 35 year, but 4:30 in the morning, he's like tapping on this drum set.
Yeah.
And I like wake up 4:30 in the morning on
Just
Christmas.
hearing that.
There's a fucking drum set out there.
Yeah.
And
That was that
from
boy's
then on,
heartbeat.
it didn't
He could
stay.
hear
And
it.
I thank God for my parents, man. That my parents, you want to motivate, we'll talk about motivation. Start doing shit with your kids and doing things for your kids and being there for your kids. If you want to motivate people and motivate future generations, actually be there and like encourage young people to do things. I mean, that's what's wrong with the
Hell
world. Is
yeah.
I don't think people are motivated. They're not encouraged enough to you know, you're worried about the rat race and living somewhere or whatever. But, you know, and it's hard if you don't have family to fall back on. I'm extremely blessed because we have a big family, you know, and,
That's what's up.
and if you know, family is motivation in a way.
Oh,
because
yeah.
If you don't have it, you know, But your family can also be the ones that tell you that you ain't worth a damn. You know?
Yeah, all the
But
time.
like I said, you got to like feed
All
on
the
that rejection
time.
and disrespect.
That's-
You got
that
to
rejection.
every time.
That's the
How'd y'all?
problem.
How'd
show
y'all-
you,
how'd
Grandma.
y'all- So y'all are family. How'd y'all, Russ? How'd you come into? Where'd you meet these young rapscallions at?
Oh, shit, man. Probably at a barn party.
Nice.
Back in, God, but I mean, I haven't known them, but what, 6, 7, maybe 6 years?
Still a good while.
And I didn't talk to them after that, you know.
8 years.
7 years. It's been 7 or 8 years.
6,
I've
7
met
or 8
Rusty.
or
Yeah.
9.
And
Nice.
over the last 2 years or year and a half, 2 years, we've become extremely close, and we've already started. We've made a lot of progress. We've been productive, and that's why I met Rusty, and I said, "This is a producer,"
Yeah.
and I said, "Please produce my record."
That was the first encounter after that party. Was
Right.
he was down in Nashville
So like 5
fucking
years later or
around,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rusty moved to Nashville, and I started going to Nashville in 2019, right before the pandemic happened. And he had moved there, and we had reconnected because we played that barn party. I played drum. He's like, "Hey, I need a band tonight."
Yeah, I just kind of what you do is what I would do is go into a place and go, okay, there's 3 bands. I play last because I'm
Yeah.
kind of the
best.
It's time to leave.
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know.
okay.
Yeah, it's time to leave band.
It's closing time.
So I went in there. So, yeah, it's closing time.
They're gonna run you off.
No, but I'd go in there and like, okay, that guy's good. That guy's good. That guy's good. Okay. And after their set, I'd be like, hey, I got this set later. You want to jam? Hey, I got this set later. You want to jam? And I formed this band at this barn party because I didn't realize I needed a band when I got there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's all tripping. I was out there, Wolf Laurel, out toward Barnersville, Burnsville, on 26 out there, and it's a band in Marshall called the White Oak Splits. I don't know if you ever heard of the White Oak Splits from Marshall. Played in Mad
That's a
Cow
hardcore
Brewing
name.
Company. And that's how we met. White Oak Splits barn party,
Hell yeah.
and tripping on. Well, we weren't tripping on.
They were
nothing.
tripping on my shit.
Yeah, we was tripping on that.
I'm sorry, man. You do what you do.
Anyway, can we cut that out?
Yeah.
So there I was in the middle of my set,
Yeah.
right? And I'm playing guitar. And I ain't never played with any of these guys before.
Right.
And I just kind of turn around and show them what's going on and then try to start the song and hope for the best.
Yeah.
So there they were. And I'm playing my songs. I'm like, hey, man, this is going great. And I look behind me, and everybody's eyes are like this, like freaking hoot owls in the back of my head. And I go, well, all right then.
And Trey was playing with me at the time. I'd done the same thing, kind of got a band pieced together with whoever was there. But I mean, I think I tried to encourage him from an early age to like play guitar and let's do it. But and then me and Rusty connected in Nashville. Within a year, we had a record made. Rusty's already put 2 records out.
And
Trey's
yeah.
got one in the can, and
Nice.
just a short matter of time, almost, you know.
You know, I just, like I was telling you earlier, you know, I was an engineer for years.
Right.
Years.
Yeah.
And it just got to the point where it's not about the money anymore. The point I was burnt out.
Yeah.
Right.
And so like I wasn't even doing records anymore. But I still had all the gear. It was kind of art, you know. And then I Jacob came out of the house and I was like, you know what, screw it. Let's just do a record. Let's make an EP.
Yeah.
Let's see where that goes. And then from there, what has it been, like a year or so, almost 2 years. And we were making EPs for other people. We're making, got a buddy in Indianapolis we're making an EP for.
Nice.
One of my friends, Jason Punkneck in Tennessee, we're going to make one for him. You know, like, it's all this thing is like, just get rid of any, like, chip on your shoulder. You know, let's just put out some stuff.
Good stuff.
And let's
Good
put out
quality
stuff.
content.
Let's put out stuff that's different. Let's put out stuff that
Exactly. Don't do this.
you didn't know you wanted to hear. That's it's like
Yeah.
my motivation of these guys is, well, you think Elvis? Everybody thought Elvis was the king of rock and roll. No, motherfuckers. Elvis went out there and told them he was the king.
Yeah. He let him know.
They didn't know before he told them.
Right.
And you got to be productive. Like sort of we were saying, you know, our goal is to have a functional production house where there's no time constraint on nothing. I mean, if you're an artist, and sometimes it comes at 12 a.m.
Get it
You
in.
know, midnight or 2
Get it
a.m.
in.
and you can't do it because you don't have no space to do it, or you gotta be
Yeah.
quiet. You gotta be quiet for the real world.
Everybody's got a normal
That's
job.
I
You
think
know, and that's the thing is you get caught up in this whole thing, and it's the next thing you know, you're 25 years old, you got 2 kids and a mortgage you can't hardly afford, and you're in fucking credit card debt, and your wife's wanting to go to Pigeon Forge.
I mean,
I
that's
gotta work all
hey,
weekend,
boy,
honey.
that's something people in North Carolina can relate to.
And then they take they work their ass off for 60 hours a week. They take their kids to Pigeon Forge, and their kids cry the whole time.
Damn.
and that's
Won't even
life.
ride the go-karts.
That is normal life.
That's
right
for
there.
everybody. Everybody gonna fuck with that
The
one.
only
right there, boy.
vacation I ever had was a kid was Pigeon Forge and
Bro, that's
Gatlinburg.
funny y'all talking
Myrtle
about, bro.
Beach
Oh my, bro, this is so funny y'all are talking about that.
I didn't know
You
that there was another place.
I-
Disney World didn't exist.
You just did a. You say your cousin. You know, you're a cousin with comedian in Asheville, Jason Reel.
Jason Reel.
We
Hey,
just-
Jason.
Yeah, we just did a show, and the topic was vacations, and he was talking about how he had just swung through Pigeon Forge.
So we're just
yeah,
I want to
bro,
get him on
shit.
our shows. We're gonna get him
Yeah,
on our
bro.
shows.
Shout out
I've been
Jason,
encouraging.
man.
And then his dad and my dad worked at the same factory. My dad was before he started working in high school. He was working. Had to ask off for his own high school graduation.
Oh, that's
Damn,
wild.
that's crazy.
See, my dad wanted to ink comic
long.
books. My dad wanted to ink comic books. And my mom has always baked cakes and stuff. My mom's real creative, making crazy cakes and phenomenal at it. And she's always done that and worked a full-time job. And my dad worked a full-time job, wanted to ink comic books. But
Yeah.
then things happened with like digital stuff and you couldn't keep up with, you know.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
my dad was like back in the late 80s, early 90s, you inked comic books. And that's why my dad wanted to ink comic books.
It's
And
nice.
it became there was a trend, that digital transition about like the
Yeah.
turn of the century there.
Nice. Before we get
Yeah.
past it, I wanted to say that advice y'all was talking about with like your when you was engineering and stuff, and how you were saying like how you have that space. I'd say my advice to all the young, comedians, artists, any creators, like get your own equipment, man. That's the number one thing, because just when you buy some equipment, right, and then you got it at your house, you walking past it every day, like I got to do something with it. Like I bought it, like you know what I mean. So like get your own equipment. Man.
You're
Make
invested.
Yeah, like you just gonna look at it like, man, I got to do something with it. I
Even if it's for ideas, if you sit
Yeah,
down and just
yeah.
track
Demos.
your ideas,
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially for comedians too, just listen to yourself talk.
Right.
You got to.
I got a question. My buddy, my next door neighbor, we hang out a lot, and he had a band up in Baltimore, and I told him, I'm going to interview the Rusty Nutz tomorrow. I'm like, what questions would you have for me? You're an artist, they're artists, you know what I'm saying? So like, what would you ask a fellow artist? And he said he got 3 questions. Actually, he had 2, and I came up with another one. So the first question would be, what's your identity in music?
Identity in music,
Yeah.
like where do I find myself?
Yeah, like what's your lane, I guess? Another way
I
to
don't
say it.
have a lane, but I'd say truck stop fucking music.
I mean, that's definitely a lane,
But I branch out at time to time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, but
dodging and ducking.
look,
I got the shoulder.
here's the thing. I was raised in church myself.
Right.
The first time I ever heard rock and roll, my cousin was sitting behind me in a pew during a sermon, and she put the headphones on me, and it was damn. Welcome to the jungle.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
That was an '88.
Yeah.
It just fucking come out, right?
Yeah.
And man, that just took me back. I don't even remember what I said. But it's I think music for me. I totally fucking got high. I didn't know where I was at. Help me out, folks. I'm sorry.
So what? So somehow Rusty Nutz was listening
trucking
to.
and
He
fucking.
was. He
Okay.
was.
Yeah.
He was listening to
Back
Welcome
on
to the
track.
Jungle. He was listening to
Back
Welcome
on
to the
track.
Jungle.
I
He was
just
8 years old.
I just had a flashback. I just had.
Little quick revelation.
Yeah.
Next thing we know, he's
One of
driving
them-
to Los Angeles in
one
a,
of
be-
them's-
in a beater going to produce for George Clinton.
Let me give you
Whoa,
long.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Let me
whoa,
get-
whoa,
Whoa, here we go.
Let me give you long form. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah. Break it down.
Whoa.
I'm not.
Not Bill.
I'm not a. Music. I was raised in church.
Yeah.
When I first got out, I started working with like bands in town here that were, bluegrass and stuff, and I ran a studio out in Candler.
Yeah.
Right.
Town Mountain. He produced a Town Mountain record.
Yeah, I did
Deal
Town
You Low.
Mountain, steady operator for Town Mountain.
Okay.
But I got a call late one night. I was working with this producer, and I got a call, and he says, "Look, man, I got these people. I know you've been in the studio for 12 hours. You want to do a night session? I got these people coming in."
Yeah.
And they were doing, tracking for horns or something like that. Anyway, it ended up being a couple of guys from George Clinton from P-Funk.
Nice.
And they came up there, and we tracked the horns and everything. Everybody went home. I had a session the next day. It was like 2 day up, session.
That's before Red Bull and all.
But yeah, my buddy John Hines, he's a producer. He's out in L.A., man, and he hit me up and he said, "We're doing this project called the Big Ol' Nasty Get Down, right?" He said, "We need you to come out. They like what you did with the horns."
Right up your alley.
Right. Well, I'd never done anything like that.
Yeah.
So I was doing like rock and roll, country, bluegrass. So I went with that, and I ended up doing these records called the Big Ol' Nasty Get Down. I was a tracking engineer for that. I think they're up to volume 4 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, all those guys, George Clinton. We did a session with El DeBar's one night. All the funk greats. What it was is a collaboration to make these funk records with all these old funk artists that we knew weren't going to be around forever,
Man,
and John kind of headed it up and would set up these studios and stuff, and we'd go in and track them.
You got to work with some greats, man. That's crazy.
Yeah,
George
and it's
Clinton.
cool. It's
the
cool.
band.
One night we were sitting in the studio and they were tracking. He leans over to me, hits me, he goes, "Who's in the studio?" And I go, "Well, I don't know everybody's name, but yeah, I mean, they're all nice people." He goes, "Man, that's Sexual Chocolate in there." He goes, "Right there's a guitar player from Sexual Chocolate. There's a drummer from Sexual Chocolate." And I go, "From Coming to America?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I planned this one."
Yeah.
That's tough. So what's up? Like what? To start with the three of y'all, what's y'all's like role? I guess what? Trey, which you guitar, sing? Where you at in the band?
Well, with Rusty, I play guitar.
Nice.
Do a little backup when he lets me.
Yeah. Okay.
Same with Jacob.
Look, I put the microphone there all night, and he chooses not to sing into it. I don't know what
can
more
tell.
I can do.
He says it's always hot.
I see Trey the sniper. He stayed back. He just waiting it out, waiting
the right
his
time,
moment.
for the right
Yeah.
time.
So Trey is our secret weapon in the studio.
The wild card.
So our goal, my personal goal, Rusty's goal, so it's a little bit different. My goal is to have 6 records that I can be credited on in the next year to 2 years.
Okay.
Rusty's is to have like 20 credits he could be credited on in the next 100, or not 100, but year or 2.
100 years.
100 years. No, a year or 2. Now, Trey is our secret weapon in the studio. So like Trey, Trey is a workhorse in the studio. You put this motherfucker in a studio, and he's gonna sit there for hours and hours and come up with the best guitar part.
And he can sing, he can play bass, he
And,
can play
yeah.
guitar, he can play piano. I mean,
And the longer he sits there, the better it's going to be. Nice. And so
Just over there cooking.
And I never want to stop.
he just
Yeah,
don't
never
It's
get
wanna
never good
stop.
enough.
So what's cool is I can, like the way I did my EP, I did a 4-song EP.
It's still not good enough.
And you track it. So Rusty would hit the record button, and he would set a click for me, and I would make a scratch vocal and a scratch guitar track. Okay, so from then that scratch guitar track and that scratch vocal, I would play the drums to the click with that thing. Mm-hmm. And because I've been playing the drums since I was 9 years old. Then we would delete that scratch and vocal track. Rusty would do that. He would delete it. And he would say, okay, now you're going to overdub over the drums. Mm-hmm. And I'd overdub that acoustic guitar, and then I'd put another scratch vocal down. Mm-hmm. And then I kept building it and building it. I think Witch and Hour had like 60-something tracks or something.
about
at the end.
84 tracks.
84 tracks. And so it's anything like, so we got like 6 different groups we're working with. Trey can sit there with all 6 groups with different genres or different styles and sculpt things. And that's just from hours and hours of practice. You talk about motivation, it's practice. How you've been doing stand-up for how long?
Like 8 months.
So you're probably naturally good at it.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't. Imagine not being good at comedy and thinking that you are and doing it for 10 years. All right, I'm going to really get them tonight.
Man, so you said
You know what I mean?
What we was just talking about on the way up here, self-awareness. Nah,
You know? Okay,
Self-awareness.
listen. You either have the chutzpah or you don't. If you don't have the chutzpah, get the fuck out the way. But no.
his words, not
It's
mine.
old. It's old show business. You either got it or you don't. Jackie. I watched the thing with Jackie Gleason the other day. Jackie Gleason said the first time I got on stage, I had to have 14 drinks before I could even tell a joke.
Damn.
You know, and it's like that's the honeymooners, and it's like, and then it's like I'm watching a thing from like 1976. It's like Jackie Gleason's smoking. And it's 60 Minutes from 1970. He's like, Jackie Gleason has made his millions of dollars. He smokes 5 packs a day. And he's made several TV specials and movies and worth so many millions of dollars. Okay, so you want to know we're going to get down to business here. Own your masters, even if you're a comedy artist. Own your fucking masters, man. I mean, it's so easy now. I don't know how Spotify, okay, so if we're going to get real, we're already 30 minutes into this.
Do that.
Can we attack the fucking business side of this shit? And we want to do
Man,
this?
get on their ass,
All right,
man.
all
Get
right,
on,
all right.
tell anybody what you want to do.
get on their ass.
Okay.
All right, so here, let me preface this.
Okay.
We've worked
Background.
so hard, and we're all underground artists, okay?
Then right.
And the thing is that's what we pride ourselves on. I want my records to be underneath the booth at the record store, and you're gonna come and go, I'm gonna get that Rusty Nutz.
Yeah.
You know,
That rare shit.
That's
brown
in a
paper
brown
bag.
paper
Yeah.
bag. That's where I
It's
want to
dirty.
be, right?
It's dirty.
So from that is where I stand. I live on the bottom. I get the stuff underground,
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
right? And then he comes in and he goes, let's go straight to the top. It's the year of the independent artist, which, yeah, I mean, all the independent
is, yeah, it's
artists are
jumping right
hitting,
now.
they're hitting this thing. And if you're good, you're good.
Yeah.
And so we press so hard to make these records. And, you know, it's the music industry has taken our art down to where it was $20 for an album to $10 for an album to 99 cents for a song to 0.0003 cents or whatever it
Crazy,
is
bro. It's
for a
wild.
play.
It's
But
wild.
Right? And it's the only form of us getting our music out there because
Exactly.
no one's buying CDs.
No one's-
And I refused to do digital distribution
You gotta have
for
physical
almost
media. You got to sometimes.
15 years of my career
Yeah.
because I was like, you know what? I'd rather be underground than have to get on the knee to these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Rusty has a thing framed. What is the thing you got framed from a record label? From what year was that? And it says,
That was 2013 or 14. Jeff Foxworthy, the guy that found Jeff Foxworthy,
Oh,
his
okay.
name
Yeah, yeah.
is, I forgot, it's Laughing Hyena Records. What's up there? You out there?
Laughing Hyena.
Right out of Las Vegas.
I've heard of that shit.
Where you
too,
laughing
boy.
now?
I've heard of that shit too. I've heard of that.
Laughing
Yeah.
Hyena.
So I got a thing on Facebook. It was right when you could get on Facebook or whatever. Messenger was, and it goes, we really like your stuff, and we'd like to maybe get some demos. Can you send us about 6 or 8 CDs so we can spread them around to our guys so we can get you truck stop distribution?
How hard was it to make a CD then? I can make one now for like what?
It was
$5,
harder. I
but
mean, it was like $3 or $4 to get a good quality CD, but you had to buy a bunch of them.
A bunch of 'em, a
So
bunch.
I pay and I get this stuff shipped up there. And at that time, I was doing about 280 days on a year on the road.
Right.
We were living out of truck stops and everything. So I mailed these things out in Toledo, Toledo, the asshole of Detroit. So I mailed these things out in Toledo, and about 6 weeks later, people I was getting my mail at called me and said, "You got this letter from Laughing Hyena." Now, Laughing Hyena was the one that found Jeff Foxworthy.
Yeah.
He found a bunch of these truck stop comedy guys.
Yeah.
And then from there, I guess they were bought out by Kincaid or what, I don't know, this other group
Another
that
company.
did the blue collar
The
comedy.
blue collar.
tour.
Yeah.
Right.
With Larry Cable got all them. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I get this letter. They call me up and I go, I'm like, all right, well, open it up. Let's see what it says. I mean, it goes, Dear Russ T. Nutz, I opened up your CD and popped it in and so. And the first thing I heard, I'm not going to say what he said because I may have said it.
Something about beating your wife.
Beating your wife and something, and calling people names that we can't say no more in the 20s, you know. And I go, okay, maybe I did, but like you asked for comedy.
Yeah.
And he goes, we're not into this kind of stuff. We're only into making fun of heterosexual sexual relationships, and I'm like.
Oh yeah, he said making fun of heterosexual relationships.
And then he
said that's what's important is making fun of heterosexual relationships.
And then the note, and then it said you should do the world a favor and not put your address on your return address on your stuff.
After they hit him up.
And do the world a favor and quit selling your stuff.
And they hit him up. So he's been on the road. So Rusty would go out on all over the country, and they'd be in an RV and they'd run out of money, and they'd how are we going to get to Kansas City from where we were?
But here's the thing: is like it was a lot of money.
Yeah.
That you spent to
It's
make
a
it.
lot of
to
money.
make this shit.
Yeah.
I was pushing a 30-foot RV, 100 to 500 miles a day. Every time I stopped, I was putting $100 in it.
Oh yeah, easy.
Right? We're going from town to town, parking lot to parking lot, and I'm playing for $30 to $80 a night. You know, if that. And that's when I had to start printing shirts because I was like, that's the only way to get the money.
So he printed the shirts.
And we would print shirts. We'd stop at a hotel, man, and get the shirts drop shipped to the hotel and print all night in the hotel or print behind the RV or like wherever. And we would cancel shows if we didn't have merch because we knew it wouldn't be worth it.
It wouldn't be worth it. Yeah, you wouldn't have the money. Man, that's real shit. Man. That's real
it's
hustling.
Rusty told me
On
he's
the road
like,
hustling right there.
and I was like, I want to make a record. And he's like, well, we need to put you on the road. So it's like, I'm going to make a record. So I started going out to Nashville in 2019, and I was going to play drums for a nice girl out there named Chelsea Lovett.
Mm-hmm.
And so Rusty says, we need to put you out on the road. I done forgot what I was going to say.
Well,
Say you met a nice
so
girl
there
out
I
in
was.
Nashville. Mm-hmm.
So at that point, I'll finish this story.
Bring it home. Bring it home, OG.
Don't worry, I got
Bring it
this.
home, OG.
I got you.
Yeah, I got me fucked up on this vodka in here. Nigga, shit, I got real.
You can't say that.
It's over with. Fuck it,
It's
cuz.
drugs and
Fuck
alcohol,
it. Fuck it. Goddamn. Fuck it.
Okay,
Fuck
y'all
it.
didn't
Rock
look
and
us
roll.
up
It's rock
before
and
we
roll,
got here,
damn it.
did you?
Sex, drugs,
And
rock
the thing
and
is we're not condoning anything.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I've seen so much that I'm just going to tell you, step away once it starts to become normalized. Okay? Once you go, that's normal. That's when you need to step away.
Yeah, because that's what
So
everybody's
So
you
you're
doing.
talking about like the crack
Yeah.
and shit.
I'm just talking about all. We can't talk about drugs.
D-Rugs.
D-Rugs.
What did you say? Peanut slept on your couch?
All right, so here's this thing. Let me tell you a P-Funk story.
All right.
Okay, so we did these. I was riding with John. We were doing these P-Funk shows. They were working for doing Las Vegas shows. So we did these Las Vegas shows, and then we did a couple Los Angeles shows because that's where I was living out there doing stuff. And they'd already got on because they were out of Tallahassee.
Yeah, okay.
So they'd already got on the plane and left. So we're sitting there, and we lived right outside of Laurel Canyon.
Yeah.
And we get this knock on the door, and it's Peanut.
Mm-hmm.
Peanut's like 70-something years old. I don't know if are you familiar with P-Funk and Bootsy's Rubber Band and Sly and the Family Stone?
Bootsy
Collins.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Peanut was a writer and a singer for Bootsy Collins.
Oh, okay, yeah, nice.
Right, and he in 1976 they were doing Funkadelic tour with Sly Stone and Sly and the Family Stone and Bootsy's Rubber Band.
Okay.
If you look that up, there's some good video of that. It's really cool. So you got this whole conglomerate, and they swallowed up. Everything got swallowed up into Parliament Funkadelic, whatever they were going off of, right? Peanut was a backup singer. He'd been there, and he stayed through the 90s. If you watch that movie PCU with David Spade, and
seen that one.
and it was made in the 90s. It's God, who was that other guy? I don't know. Jeremy Piven.
Oh, okay.
Got Jeremy Piven and David Spade in it, and that was a resurgence of George Clinton back in the 90s because that was a college movie, and that's what got him into the college circuit, which is the first time that I saw him.
Yeah.
You know, my two favorite bands growing up were Funkadelic and Leonard Skinner.
Hell yeah.
You know, and
Rusty, you're how old?
I'm 42 this year.
And Rusty's 42. He listened to Funkadelic and Leonard Skinner, and by the time he's 42, he's done work for both of them. That's motivation, right?
Tough.
That
That's
is-
You
motivation.
know, but
Just
that's universe stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not going.
meant to be.
It's universe.
You just kind of got to ride. You can't be so hard on everything. But it's Peanut showed up at our house. I'm gonna get the yeah. So Peanut showed up at our house, and they had forgot him. Well, he had missed his plane. Forgot him. Forgot him.
Right.
Right. And so
He forgot him.
instead of getting another plane ticket and going home, he proceeded to set up shop at our place and just kind of live there.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Peanut just decided that the
Welcome
couch
home.
was his and he wasn't going home till somebody else paid for his ticket.
All right, makes sense. Seems reasonable.
It has,
So we were there, but you know, I think Peanut, you know, it's old school rock and roll. It's old school.
So we'll go
stuff,
back. We'll
you
go back.
know?
We'll connect some dots here. So I said when me and Trey were growing up in the church, we were huge Kiss fans. Rusty's worked for Parliament Funkadelic. Kiss and Parliament Funkadelic were on the same record label, Casablanca Records, who was financed by Warner Music Group. Warner Music Group, you know, Kiss has been a band for 50 years now. They just celebrated their 50-year anniversary, which no band has ever done. So kudos to Gene and Paul. And you know, so Warner Music Group and they Kiss, the people that own the rights to that Universal Universal Music Group. So you have Universal, you have Sony, you have Warner. They own everything. Back in the 70s, Kiss and Parliament were on Casablanca Records.
Okay.
This was a dude named Neil Bogart.
Yeah.
Who's a brilliant record producer. Who, you know, it's the reason I went to Rusty. It was like, hey, produce my record, because you know, like, so we have a production house. It's got to be no time limit. You know, anyway, Neil Bogart goes to Vegas and takes out a line of credit with the mob to finance the first 3 Kiss records and the first 3 Funkadelic records.
You bullshitting.
No.
That big.
No. So like goes to Vegas and he like gets a line of credit. I've been reading a book, this crazy book called Going Platinum. They're trying to make a movie about Casablanca Records, but it's brilliant when you get into like it's where you get Donna Summer, the huge disco and funk thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Kiss was on the same record label as Donna Summer, Parliament Funkadelic, and the Village People. Kiss,
It's a wild record.
the hard rock record, Kiss
Gotta get 'em
Alive.
all.
Yeah.
So Kiss Alive financed the disco
Air.
era.
Yeah.
Because when Kiss Alive went platinum or whatever,
Thanks, Kiss.
Neil Bogart was able to take his advance from Warner Music Group and pay it back. Like
To the, yeah.
pay it back.
That boy was taking some risks.
And then
Getting some
he
reward.
took the money from Kiss Alive, paid off the mob in Vegas,
Yeah.
made Warner Brothers happy.
Very.
And then made disco for the rest of the 70s. Isn't that wild?
Wow.
Now it's the same time. So we're talking about getting a 0.00003 cent.
Crazy. It's crazy,
So fractions
bro.
of a thing. So in 2024, and I don't know if you noticed, like 3 months ago, so we put out a record. We've worked I've worked 5 years to put out my record. 5 years. So by the time I start in 5 years to the time I put it out, Spotify says, "Oh, we're going to change the way we pay artists." So like I said, the comedy people, own your masters.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about blue collar comedy tour. I love Ron White.
He's great.
Ron White's one of my favorites. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
he's
and he's the best one of those. You know, Bill Engvall, here's your fucking sign or whatever. You know, it's good shit. But Ron White is phenomenal. He's just, his timing is brilliant. But so 0.00003 cent. We're talking about like lines of credit in the 70s that are like in the 70s now, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so Neil Bogart, this record executive from Casablanca, would go and he would borrow lines of credit to go gamble on with the mob. Now, so Spotify says now, oh, we're going to pay, you know, we're going to find distributors if they're doing bots. I don't know where this fucking shit is coming from or going, but the records.
It makes sense to me. I'm sorry to interrupt, but like bots, like So if somebody's sitting there with like 19 phones hooked up, replaying their stuff,
That's
We're only an hour into this. You
Yeah.
want to keep going? Let's
Let's keep going. Let's expose them,
really
bro.
going on. Let's fucking talk about
Expose
some
'em.
shit that's going on.
Get
You
on
want to
their
own your
ass, man.
masters. If you're a comedy artist,
Yeah.
you're the same. You have the same value as a musician.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
comedians that are interviewing musicians. You have the same value. Honestly,
Yeah.
you
Right.
do. I mean,
You still get
want
0.0003 cents per
0.0003
stream.
cents for every 30 seconds.
But I feel like you got to work harder to get people to listen to it over and over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because
exactly.
once you've heard it, like, why would you listen to the
Yeah,
whole
like
podcast
stand. That's
unless
what's
it's
rough
10
about.
years from
Yeah,
now?
that's what's rough
That's
about
the- that's
stand
the
up.
issue, yeah.
Podcast
You listen
and
to
any
a
of
song,
that.
you listen to it
You
at
gonna
least
play
7
it.
times.
Yeah.
And the same thing. I mean, we're already talking an hour. Somebody's already falling asleep here.
Yeah, definitely.
And so they're like, "Oh, we're not going to pay any more music to things that people. We're not going to pay any more royalties to people that think are falling asleep to."
right.
Yeah, in the
Why is that?
last 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
they've pulled his record down, my record down, and like
Wise.
thousands of other people's records.
And all
Because
I've been
of
doing.
bots?
Okay, so listen. No,
Spotify
okay.
bots.
It's not Spotify bots. So what I've been doing is I've bought Spotify ads.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got to 30,000 listeners on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
Spotify says, okay, we'll give you this discovery mode. Discovery mode is where Spotify will show
They
your new
feature you on the
It will
on the
feature
main
you,
page
okay?
and shit.
So I've been paying Spotify money for ads. So Spotify not only gets the ad money, they get the discovery mode, which is 30% of commission. 30% commission of the royalties. 30% commission of the royalties. They're going to get 30% commission of your royalties for discovery mode once you break 20,000 or whatever. Okay. Now,
This is a dirty game.
It's
I-
a-
so,
it's
okay,
just-
so
it's
don't
just
even
the
wanna
tip
blow
of
up.
the-
You don't even
now
wanna
there's
blow
a
up no
couple.
more.
This is just the tip here.
This
all
is
right?
just the tip of the iceberg.
So we're talking about in 1975 when Alive, Kiss Alive is coming out. Okay, so we're time Parliament Funkadelic, Kiss Alive, multi-million-dollar record. So Spotify comes out in the last like 2 weeks. They're in the last 2 weeks. They're like, oh, we'd give half of our $9 billion revenue to independent artists.
Bullshit.
Maybe
Yeah.
where's that? Where's that? So you're paying. Have you put out a comedy record yet? We're putting out records here now. We got comedy records. We got everything. We got
all the records.
all the records here.
No, I
So
ain't put one out yet.
Spotify's a big record store. YouTube Music is a big record. Apple Music's
Right.
a big record store. And
Yeah.
comedy has a section.
Definitely.
It has a section.
It
You know,
does.
it's the same. Like I said, it was be better. You know why Kiss was great? Because in old Hollywood, it was the stars are here. The stars. You can't hang out with Greta Garbo. She's too hot for you. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But we need to be easier. I mean, you've got to like open up. You can't be so freaking tight knit with
Yeah.
your people because
Yeah.
the record labels are losing money and they're waging a
losing
war
money.
against all of
Yeah.
us.
So here's the distributor part. If we're going to get to distributors, so in order to put music on Spotify and YouTube, you have to pay a distributor. There's a bunch of them out there. There's like probably like at least
It's
20.
like Distro
Distro
Kid and
Kid,
stuff like
CD
that.
So
Baby.
Distro Kid and TuneCore are the ones that are taking all the money from you right now. And lo and behold, so I'm going to put a record out in 2023. At the end of 2024, they're going to start charging distributors $10 or whatever. So now we
they
have the
about
whole
to
thing with AI. So we have AI here, and so I'm running these Spotify ads, and all of a sudden there's, I've got a Spotify ad that's getting all this traction and all this that I've paid Spotify for. DistroKid has its own AI bot that is scrubbing your numbers. And it's saying once it get so you want to know? I think what's going on with the TuneCore and DistroKid is in their terms of service. It says, in all your stream of income, if you have so many streaming platforms like Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Deezer, Tidal, yada yada yada, what you make ought to be an equal share distributed about those platforms.
Right.
So let's say you give YouTube or Google Alphabet Agency that's funding our wonderful fucking Senator Tom Tillis. Alphabet Agency. Alphabet Agency. That should tell you all you need to know about Alphabet with all these little letters.
Hashtag
to-
alphabet.
Okay,
I know
hashtag
that's some
alphabet.
strong people. Them some strong
Okay,
people.
we're gonna get killed.
Strong
I'm gonna
people.
get y'all assassinated. They're about to kill 5 people
Them
in
some
here.
strong people. Them some strong
All
people.
right. We got billions of dollars. We
Them
got
is the big
space.
steppers
We got,
right now.
Okay, we got space lasers.
We're losing you, people.
We got space lasers that'll. We've got space lasers that'll annihilate entire islands. And we'll have The Rock and Oprah buy them all up. And
We're getting so serious.
But we won't get into that.
we're not going to get into that.
Let me ask you a
Okay. So
question.
it's all one big rabbit hole,
He
motherfucker.
said,
This rabbit hole ain't got no end. You keep on plowing that rabbit hole real good, you know.
Oh, bro, wait.
It's
Which
so-
one of y'all does stand up? Like, for real, for real. You fucking-
All right, wait.
It's so real.
Don't point at me, man. Don't point at me now, man.
I'm the comedian. He's the PR guy, so I'm loving it. You know what I'm saying?
So in the last 3 months, so you know what's been going on with this bots and stuff.
What's happening,
right?
G?
You know.
Yeah.
So Universal went to Spotify like 3
Still
months
going.
ago, and they worked out this Universal and Spotify and Warner and Sony and all this shit. They went and they said we're going to start finding all these distributors
Yeah.
money. So you're paying.
And they're the ones probably making the
$40,
bots.
They are.
They
They
are.
are.
They're the ones-
Exactly.
Yeah.
this
And then
distro
penalizing-
making the bots.
And then penalizing
penalizing
you
So they're taking
because
all
of their
the-
After
bots.
3 months ago,
When it's
I've
their
done,
fuck
I've-
up.
I've done convinced 12 people to sign up for DistroKid so we can split the royalties.
Right.
And all this shit. And I've done figured it out and all this shit. But if you don't have, how do you get a hold of the people at Apple to do a advertising campaign? So this is the thing. Okay, so
rough
there's a
business
term
right
that's
there,
out there now. Let's called NEN.
Man, hold on, man, hold on.
In
Hold on.
shitification.
Can we pause just
In-shitification
for a
of the
second? Like,
internet.
let's stay right here on this. I gotta use the bathroom. This shit.
I gotta pee too, bro. I feel you right now.
Good. We're gonna let it breathe. We're gonna take a quick 5-minute break just to use the bath. I like this. This shit's crazy. Like, all artists need to hear this for sure. Like, every artist needs to hear this. We definitely.
I'm trying to help you all
Nah,
out.
yeah,
Motivate.
any
It's about
creator.
motivation.
It's
We've
about
done an hour
motivation,
into
damn
it,
it.
dude.
It's
This
a
is very
motivation.
motivating.
We finna get into it, cause this might be
We
our
all
first.
gotta pee.
I gotta pee so bad.
We're only an hour in.
We'll
This
be
is gonna
right
be our
back.
first 2-hour episode, probably right here.
Hell yeah.
Don't even like lose that passion you got right now. We're gonna take a quick break and come right back. I promise. All right, we back. It got real in this motherfucker, man. So we had to let it breathe, but we back.
Let it breathe and put the shades
Yeah.
on.
Gotta bend it over, let that thing breathe. Nah, I'm just
You got to wash your ass.
Spray a little cologne.
Yeah, man. But listen, we was talking about the AI and the not only AI but the record labels and stuff and the streaming payout and stuff, man. But what have y'all just been able to just like just thug through that? Like, man, let's keep doing us, let's keep making our
Yeah.
music and not worry about that stuff.
Okay.
What keeps y'all going?
Like I said, you feed on rejection and disrespect.
Yes.
And when these distributors who have decided that we need to have a multi-billion-dollar business distributing intellectual property to these streaming platforms, all of a sudden in their terms of service, they can say, well, if we detect that you're getting so much increased traffic from this one thing, it's not real, it's not legitimate because it's not reflected in the other streaming. That's what I think is going on.
So,
I
but-
don't know. I can't. It's just a
So
lesson.
you're
it's
saying
you gotta
saying
hit it-
only
you
if
gotta hit it
only if
across all
Spotify
boards.
Yeah.
only if Spotify bumps, it will only take your shit down if it doesn't recognize a bump in
All
Apple,
streaming.
YouTube.
Kind of.
So you gotta
Across
hit
the
all,
board.
Yeah, wow.
But how do you do that? Because you can take out Google ads. You can take out.
Yeah, but it's like you're gonna build that fan base on that one platform first before it transfers
Well,
anywhere
if
else. It's not gonna
Spotify
be
really-
on
if
every
s-
single one spot like
Right.
at once. You're gonna build it here,
Well,
and then it's gonna spread.
So the record labels say we're losing all this money and we got all this shit tied up because they still got to pay all these legacy acts. And they got to pay Taylor Swift and they got to pay all this shit. And they're saying, well, since we're losing all this, and so when you sign up for each individual distribution platform, they have different terms of service. And I'm pretty sure, I'm convinced that DistroKid has the lowest payout, and they've negotiated that. But they can also say that, well, since you don't have all this distributed equally across all these platforms, we can take your royalties. DistroKid and TuneCore both. I don't know what if this is real or not, but it's real. but I don't know if I can say this legally without getting fucking sued. But they can keep your royalties. That's why I said own your masters. That's what's important.
Well,
We're talking about motivating people here, but I mean,
That is motivation.
Well,
own your masters. Own
your
your
masters.
Own your stuff.
Don't let producers steal your shit.
Yeah.
Because they will.
they will steal
They're
the fuck
real
out of
weird.
it.
Aren't they real weird about letting
Yeah.
their masters? They're super weird
And
about
that's
it.
the thing is that I've been working with these guys, and I'm like, when you leave here, I get my percentage on your digital shit, but when you leave here, take the hard drive with you, because in 10 years when you come looking for it, I don't think I'll have it.
Right.
You
That's
know,
a friend talking.
take your stuff with you. It will be safer with you than in my hands. You know.
Yeah. I mean,
I will do bad stuff with it. You know, like do not make me responsible for your art. You're the artist.
See, that's
You know, I'm just here to
That's a
produce
big
the record.
part of it. I'm
man.
glad y'all came on here and talked that, because that's a big part that people don't pay attention to. Like, especially because when you're just busy creating, you're not thinking about like the business side of it. But especially in comedy, like people don't realize there's two parts of it. There's the funny and the money, and it's kind of the same in.
It is.
I like
Yeah.
funny
and the money.
The funny
That's a
and the
good
money.
song,
You
man.
got it. Like even because you think about. I had this thought earlier, like, and I always like to dip between comedy and music because it's the same. So it's like I just always think like the biggest. It's always like the biggest comedian or the biggest artist isn't the best or the funniest.
Who is the biggest comedian right now?
I would say, like numbers wise, it's always been Jerry Seinfeld. But I mean,
Oh,
Kevin
okay.
Hart is coming up.
See, we were talking about earlier. We were like, who's the best stand-up comic, or who's your favorite? And we're all talking about comics that were like pre-1990.
Yeah, that have Louis Anderson.
Yeah, Life of Louie. Remember Fox Kids and Life of Louie, Bobby's World.
I would say like the biggest right now, Joe Rogan, just because of his podcast. I mean, he's
Yeah.
probably better known than anybody just for that.
Well, that's like Dr. Dre saying he's the best musician because he sold headphones.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So like podcast wise,
You know.
because he's a comedian. Podcast wise, Joe Rogan's the best for podcasts. And then when you think about like stand up only, it's the people who are selling the most tickets. And so I would say,
And then even then, but go ahead, go my.
I would say it's people like selling out stadiums. So it's probably like Fluffy, you know.
Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is like not like I'm not to say like Jerry or whoever isn't funny. I'm saying like the person that's the most mainstream usually isn't who the people think is like their their guy.
Because there's a box that has to be checked for everything in order for the labels to get behind you.
Yeah,
You and I don't have boxes to
Right.
check because we're independent.
exactly.
And the thing is I really think that it may be the age of the independent artist, but we've got to do other things than
Just
give
that.
our stuff away.
Yeah.
You know, like they're saying, okay, say I'm a painter. Okay, so I can paint this painting, and then I can sell it to you for $20. A year later, you sell it back to me for $100. We can do that for a while. I can. Now your paintings are worth something. I can't trade music back and forth. It's still worth 0.0003 of a cent.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Or
the-
free.
It's not physical.
Or free.
I've been wondering about that. Like, how do we get back to physical?
I was gonna say the music industry has devalued our art
Yeah.
to
So
the
much.
point that, like Goodwill, I'd rather give it to you than give it to Goodwill to sell it to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
I guess that's why people like Taylor Swift are still on world tours and stuff, because like she knows
Pull in a
she's
little
not
bit.
gonna get her money unless she goes on tour, because she's really getting her money from ticket sales.
Yeah.
right? And that's a whole different ball game that I can't really get into. But it really is. And like I said, it's a box that you check. Does this person have this, and this, and this? And are they willing to listen to us and do whatever? The
Right.
record industry killed Whitney Houston. They overworked her ass.
Oh shit.
You know?
shit.
Like,
Oh shit.
Deeper and deeper on this.
That's why we had to put these shades on. It was
I mean,
goddamn, it was
come
getting
on,
real
like-
in here.
there was so many people dependent on her.
They do that with a lot of artists too.
All artists, once you get to a certain level, there are so many gears that work behind you that makes you to the
Shit can't
point where
stop.
you are just a tool for
Yeah.
everyone that's behind you.
They build you up.
You're the hammer, and everyone behind you is taking a swing with you.
Well, you end up being the cash cow.
The cash
Yeah.
cow. Yeah.
Once you get so high, you're the once you become the top of the pyramid,
Right.
you're responsible for everybody
and
below
if,
you.
And if you take
And-
it, go ahead.
Shit, I mean, look at fucking artist suicides.
Right.
Yeah.
You take
Why
a
the fuck?
2-week
Because they're
vacation.
responsible for this whole
this
fucking
whole-
pyramid
there's
scheme.
so many. Like that's what I was thinking about the other day. Like with even if you're like we say entertainers. Period. Like you're going out there, you're doing the performance, but then there's like not forget like record like executives. the
Forget
top,
that.
Just like
We're talking
Just your
about
tour.
cameraman.
We're talking
tour.
about
Like,
your cousin that you is
that
your
your
roadies,
handler now.
light
you know,
men,
like-
sound men.
all of that.
Everybody
the bus
that you
driver,
just-
tour bus driver. Like there's so
Imagine
many.
Taylor Swift's road crew, bro. How many fucking
Look.
tractor trailers is that?
That's a couple.
50?
Look, we were talking to one of my buddies he's worked for a major country artist. He said their tour consists of 38 tractor trailers.
That's crazy.
Okay, that's tractor trailers going to every city.
They don't need that. They just got to throw that extra on the bill.
Right. Well, here's the thing: is like what happens is these artists are working so hard, and they go, "Man, I'd like to take a year off." Well, it's not just you taking a year
No,
off; it's like
it's-
700 other people
Yeah.
taking a
Right.
year off.
Right.
It can't stop. That's why them people. Yeah, you're right. That's crazy. Yeah, it can't stop. It just can't.
Once
It
the
can't.
train rolls,
Especially once you started making, we talking like hundreds of millions. Like it ain't no stopping now.
Billions even. Look at Rihanna.
Yeah.
I just saw a
Shit.
video.
I think only reason I think she doesn't have to play that is because she dropped that clothing line. So now she's like, oh, I don't even got to do music. Why would I be on road
well, that's it.
like that long
Well-
when I can and then drop my music? when
Less
I feel
people.
like
Less people.
I w-
Maybe.
I would say like if you wanted to be an independent artist and you want some motivation, then come out with other art. Like I'm going into like screen printing, velvet stuff. I've done the music long enough, and I know that the music itself is not monetarily feasible, but my name is.
right, exactly.
Right.
It's you.
So now I can make art. I can make T-shirts. I can make something else that I have to. I have to become a what is it? What do they call that? A multimedia artist
Yeah.
Right.
to be able to survive the music, because music is 10%.
But it's also the branding.
the
Rusty
branding.
Nutz has great branding.
Yeah.
Rusty.
You know,
I mean,
if you
it's
want to buy
fucking gold
something,
mine.
like a-
I don't even have
you
a
know,
website. Just come by my place. I'll hook you up. Where you live, I'll drop a
me up
shirt
on
off.
the
if you have a brand that you can make look good on the internet or make it look good anywhere,
Anything.
QTM,
Yeah.
that shit looks fuking awesome.
Preach.
You
Yeah,
know?
y'all got good Instagram.
It's fucking it's brilliant. You know, I mean, it's
myself on there.
and it doesn't matter, like, and I'm not saying that your podcast doesn't matter, but what I'm saying is it's not the only component to
Right.
the machine.
Yeah.
It's almost like the marketing. Our music is the marketing aspect of the machine. It's us. I'm a vacuum cleaner salesman, and I get up on the stage and I show you how that thing works.
Hell yeah.
Right?
You goddamn right.
That's what the music is.
You go to the bar, you're working
sell it.
60 hours a week, and you go to the local pub, and all of a sudden there's a band there. This band is never there. You go to the pub, and it's like the same bullshit on the jukebox. You've done work 60 hours a week. You're just ready to like try to talk to somebody, convince some hapless soul to come home with you. And you go to the pub, and there's a badass fucking band and a badass show, and they got clown porn printed on their fucking t-shirts. And you say, I'm gonna give all my money to Rusty.
Yeah.
Right. So what it is like a year's on the road. This is what I would say is like people don't go to the bar to hear you play music. They go to the bar to get drunk.
Right.
Right. And then the bar's going to give you a percentage. You get paid three ways.
Yeah.
You get paid three ways. You get paid a percentage of the bar. This is I won't say this is touring, low-level touring bars and dive musicians. You get paid a percentage of the bar. You get, hey, look, we're all there. It's where you got to start.
You're on the
Right.
telephone.
You're
you know
on
what
it.
I'm saying?
I've been there for 20 years.
You get paid from a percentage of the bar sales. You get paid a flat fee, or you get paid a percentage of the cover charge they give.
Right.
Okay, those are the three ways you get paid as an independent artist who doesn't have any leg to stand on.
Right. No big
Right.
following. Right.
Because
Like
you
social media.
you can be
following.
big in your town
Yeah.
and you ain't shit nowhere else.
Yeah.
Right? And you walk out of Asheville going, I'm hot shit. Next thing you know, you're in Columbia, South Carolina going, Where's all the people? You know, right? So
Columbia still
So what it
wondering
is
that.
is you've got to branch out. You are a vacuum cleaner salesman. Your your music is just, hey, this is what I got. Look at me. Hey, you know, so that when you get off stage, they come over and they buy the vacuum cleaner and they continue to make sure that the firmware is good on their new electric vacuum cleaner that has digital aspects to it. Right. You know, they check up on it. They come to see it again and go, they testify, my vacuum is working great and you should get one too.
Yeah.
You get your fans one at a time.
Exactly.
And they are like family. And you have to build it like that. You can't be a fucking rock star. Nobody wants that fucking attitude.
Right.
You have to make friends when you're starting out. Right. And your friends, those people will support you for the entire part of your career, way past the people that the radio told that you were good, Nickelback.
Yeah.
And he went to see. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because what's going to happen is you're going to get to the point where you're like got 100 people there, right? And then you're going to sign something or whatever, and then you're going to have 10,000 people there. Well, those 1,000 people or so were the ones, or 100 people or so were your rocks. They were the other people were just told that it was cool to go there.
Right.
Yeah,
And then when they stop advertising that it's cool to go there, you're going to be dealing with those 100 people again, and you better have fucking treated them right, or you're no longer going to have a career.
I think that's real what you said about getting them one at a time, because that's how it's supposed to happen. I always thought like, I told them a couple of times like, I mean it's good, but I didn't want I don't want like the podcast to go viral, I guess, until we're like ready to handle that type of stuff.
Right.
Because like you said, you get them one at a time. That's how you get your real fans. When you get that big jump, say we drop a clip of this, right, and it shoots up 100 million likes or whatever, we get 100 million followers or whatever. It's like, what if they only liked it just because they seen it had 50 million likes?
Right.
They seen that it was already popular. I'm gonna like it because everybody else likes it.
Right.
Now you stuck with some non, like there's
Right.
like people that have millions of followers and then they go on tour and then they can't sell any tickets because it's like,
Because it's a false sense of reality.
Yeah,
You know?
social
That's
media
exactly
builds
what
up a lot of
that's
false.
That's exactly where the bots come in.
Yeah.
So now we've talked about that. Record labels, they've been using bots for years now, and so if you say you have a song that goes to like 4 million streams or 5 million streams, and then all of a sudden it's got 9 or 10 million streams, odds are half of it's bots, because 5 million is a huge number.
A huge number.
And so, it makes it more believable that it might have 9 or 10, because it's a huge song. You've heard it everywhere, but they've been doing it for years and they've been caught, and now they're trying to cover it up and punish everybody else and blame it on everybody else while they're still doing it. That's what's
Yep.
It's like we can't use the advertising to get our plays because
But the labels can.
the labels can.
Yeah.
My album was taken down because it said 90% of my streams were bought false
Which is
plays.
100% bullshit.
Which is
there's
there's no way
no way to do
because
that at
people
an
don't
independent level. There's
people
no way
don't
to,
listen
It's
to me.
impossible.
Like I don't have any plays.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
like it's just
I have
it's
23
like all of a
plays
sudden-
and 100% of them are fake.
So
Yeah.
if all of a sudden
There's no way.
All of a sudden the distributors are working with. So DistroKid has so many hundreds of thousands of artists, and all of a sudden, the majority of them, have 2,000 streams or 3,000 streams, and they don't have to pay that out. What's 200,000 times 3,000? A lot of money that they can keep technically.
Oh yeah.
and they're going to if they
So
want
the-
because it's in a
the
terms
math-
of service.
Yeah, because
The math on 85 million streams to the artist theoretically is $345,000 for 85 million streams.
makes sense, bro.
Now, if you can say 90%
That's at
of that is
$4
false,
$4 per thousand streams, roughly.
so if you say that 90% of that is
345,000
false, and then hold the rest of it for fucking 6 months to a year to make sure that those aren't false.
That shit don't make no sense.
Yeah.
It's rigged. Everything's
And-
rigged, bro.
and so-
Everything is
It's
rigged.
all rigged.
I'm on that wave.
And that's what I'm
rigged.
saying. The, you artists, you independent artists, we've got to take it back. We got to go from the ground level. Start grassrooting your shit.
Start selling
Because
cassettes.
Sell cassettes. Sell CDs. I sell CDs just so I can sign them and give them to people. People buy them for me to sign. It doesn't matter. Give it away for free because it's better than getting fucked.
Yeah. At least if you give it away for free, someone fucking looks at it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like.
Like, you go and check it out.
You give
If got it
somebody a
for
free cassette, who's not gonna go home
You gotta at
and,
least
and
put
look
it in,
that
at least
fucking
put
name
it
on that
in, like,
cassette
come on,
up?
man.
You know, like
Yeah.
But and the thing is like future when I think about records and stuff, you know, you're talking about I found this record in my grandma's basement, or you
It
know,
doesn't exist in 20 years.
Right, but guess what? Say Russ T Nutz gives a CD to somebody, and they're like, "Man, fuck this," and they throw it in the backseat of their car or whatever. The next owner of that car gets that, and I go,
It's a fucking CD
"The
in
fuck
here.
is this?
the fuck is this?
And they're like, Russ T Nutz, this looks highly offensive. I'm going to listen to it. And, you know, or the same thing with like a kid, like you found a Richard Pryor record.
Yeah.
Like it's about the legacy. It's not about to stop chasing the money and chasing the success, and just do you and do the art, and you'll get there. Like it
Chase
doesn't
the freedom, bro.
The freedom.
Chase the
They're not
freedom.
working for somebody to move into the direction that you're supposed to move into, because a child could find your music, you know, 30 years from now, that everybody else passed by.
And they might dress up like you for Halloween
And, yeah.
for 3 years in a row.
Right, exactly.
Or drop them snippets of the song on a TikTok and that thing.
And just purely inspire them and go, wow, I've never heard that is
This is some out
that
there
is
shit.
cool.
So we're gonna talk about some TikTok right now.
No, don't talk about TikTok.
Oh, man.
Nah, fuck TikTok.
TikTok's too topical. I just want to say that. Okay, so
Too
in China-
topical, too
in
tropical,
China-
too tropical.
Okay, in China, when the people watch TikTok, it's all about how great China is and how wonderful they should make society be.
Too
But when,
tropical.
Kids in America, when they watch TikTok, they should watch how they should vandalize things and
Same.
vandalize their high schools. It's all about.
And
it's
turns
all
their
about-
brain into mush.
It's all about upsetting society in a way over here. Why in China they don't see no TikTok bathroom
Twerk
high school,
videos,
you
none of
know, Yeah. And over
Smoking
here
in the
it's-
girls' room.
Yeah. I mean,
here's the thing though, like the social media stuff it's cool as long as you look at it as a tool.
Yeah,
when you
exactly.
it starts
When
to
you start
become
living on
When it becomes your whole life.
yeah, you,
and because you're gonna wake up and you're gonna go, I have no skills except for TikTok. And at the ripe old age of 54, nobody's gonna want to look at you on TikTok. and I'm not saying you're not interesting. I'm just
Unless you're
saying
Kim
that
Kardashian.
You're saying
Right.
that you're saying that
You're saying-
skills are important.
You're saying that you've lived over half of your life and you have no practical skills.
Yeah.
It's cool if you want to do TikTok, but use it as a tool. You know, use it
To promote
to
something.
promote something that you're doing to better society, not to just go, well, it's me again.
Me and my
You
sister
know?
were talking about this because she's like, she's like real deep into politics. Like that's what she went and got her degrees for and everything. Like she works with congressmen and stuff like that. So
who would
she's,
she work for?
uh,
It ain't that Chuck Edwards motherfucker, is it?
she works to advocate for the.
Because I told that motherfucker off about the Indians.
She doesn't work for a specific congressman. She works with them to advocate for software for the company that she works for. So she's like in DC, and she's like, you know, working with congressmen, elbow to elbow type of deal. And she was telling me like the whole TikTok thing is like real sensitive because Congress has never like banned an app before. So for them to do
Right.
that sets a precedent.
Right.
And that like that's a whole different thing from like, okay, yeah, TikTok might be a security threat, right, for whatever reason. But if Congress has never banned an app before, that sets a precedent for every other case for you to ban an app.
Right, and that's very dangerous.
That's the dangerous
That's a
part.
very dangerous
Yeah,
waters
because
to tread.
Yeah, because then then there's a precedence for you to ban an app. So what other
Right.
apps can they ban along
Right.
with it?
Right.
And like that
Right.
infringes on free speech and all this kind of stuff.
Well, I'm going to tell you where that starts.
Yeah.
Is if you took responsibility
Education.
for yourself
That's where it starts.
and education for your children and
Take
you
care of your
didn't
kids.
let society raise your kids instead of you,
Yeah.
or the government raise your kids.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is we were instilled certain memorials and values growing up because, you know, of our families, and a lot of these kids just kind of go get plopped in front of the TV or the iPad or whatever.
Yep.
And
that's where they learn
And,
their
and they
morals.
learn they learn everything there, and then they wake up one day and they've got nothing, and they have no skill. And the thing is you got to go out there and get it. You got to take accountability for what you did wrong and all the things that you got in your life, and you got to move forward, and you got to be the best you can be, because ain't nobody there gonna just, hey, how you doing? Help me help you up. So it starts with, you know, the society of educating our youth.
Yeah.
And the things that, you know, maybe, I know we're all kids at one point, and it's like, you don't listen to your parents. But you know what? Here's the thing. At 30 to 40, you
remember
start
all that
going,
shit. They was right.
they were right.
Right. I'm hitting that now. Like,
You know?
you was
They were
completely right. 100%.
They were absolutely right. Where you were trying to get the furthest away from them, and you thought that nothing they taught you was going to stick, and you're running away.
Yep.
You realize that,
man, bro.
that it was the right thing for them to do. Even though you weren't listening,
Yeah.
it stuck. So you've just got to educate people.
That's what's up, man. I'm glad
You
y'all
know?
came on here, man. I know they was thinking, oh man, the Rusty Nutz, but y'all dropped
mean,
game on them.
we-
Boy,
we-
y'all gave them knowledge today, man.
We sing songs about trucking and fucking. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
Also give 'em
it
some
comes
knowledge,
from a
too.
good place. Like,
Yeah.
the reason I do it, my dad was a trucker.
My mom's a truck, or was a trucker. Yeah, my
Trucker.
grandpa too.
Dude, we used to hide in the back of the truck at the way stations. Y'all do that? We'd
no,
go.
it was just me and her, so it was good.
So we'd hide in the back of the truck when my dad would go through the way stations, man,
Yeah.
just so we wouldn't, because we weren't supposed to be in there. And we'd
Yeah.
be on spring break with Dad in the back of the trailer, you know.
Rocking and rolling across the country.
Yeah, my dad would stop at these truck stops, right? And me and my brother, and he'd make these peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and with the Jesus pamphlets, and we'd try to lure hookers back to his rig, teach them about Jesus.
I'm so lost. What?
So everybody at a damn truck stop, and
At the Interstate Motel.
send these little kids out. They'd send these little kids out with Jesus pamphlets to get the hookers back to the truck.
How does that even? I just don't understand the correlation. Like,
Okay, sorry, I just went off the
Right,
deep.
hookers gotta eat too.
I get
We
it.
gotta eat. When you're at the lowest and the lowest, you gotta realize that, like, it's okay to have nothing. And it's okay to be in these situations because they make you stronger.
Damn right.
that's
You
fine,
know,
yeah.
it's like, even if you have a fucked up childhood, somebody else has also got a more fucked up childhood.
Exactly.
There's
And-
always
and-
someone worse off.
Always.
Look,
Always.
I spent 11 years side by side with a musician, my good buddy Jason Punkneck. His father was a Houston Park rapist.
Damn.
You know?
Yeah, they chemically castrated this motherfucker.
Damn.
But-
chemically make him. Well,
Not-
how long's he
not-
been?
But
Not
but
yet.
what I'm saying is, like, you can always go lower when you think you got it the worst.
There's only one person who ain't got it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
And then but if you are okay with having nothing, we have too much. When you say I'm poor, you still got TV and internet
yeah.
and this and that. Well, no, when you're poor,
You ain't got no food.
you ain't got nothing.
That's what I call first world problems.
right, and
First
we
world.
don't know that, and the youth doesn't know that. Poor.
They don't understand that
There are
there
kids
there
here
are
that do that. There are kids here that
146
do.
other countries
Yeah.
on this earth
yeah, and
that
and
have no fucking mental
they're like cool.
idea
there's-
of what the fuck your
What you're
problem
talking
is.
about,
You know
yeah.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's
Like
you say you're poor, but your family.
They
has
looking
it.
at you
you're
like,
not really
Yeah,
poor.
you're not
poor.
you're not going
You
to the
got
creek
clothes.
and
What you
boiling
talking about?
water.
You got
Yeah.
cl-
You
exactly.
know, my mom didn't have, when she was growing up, they didn't have indoor plumbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's different levels to it, and when you think you're at your lowest, look at it and go, man,
Blessed.
I ain't got it that bad.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to wake up every day, and you should be
Yeah.
happy if you wake up every day. You should go, it is a blessed day. I can move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They put
You
on
know?
too much material stuff. It's like forget
Exactly.
like money or food or clothes. Like you got people that care about you. That's you're not poor. You're not. You know what I mean? Like there's
You're
some
right.
people who don't got that. They don't got nobody to talk to. No nothing. Like we were saying earlier. Like
And you can have items, you can have all this stuff, but know that you can survive without
it.
anything.
Right. That's what's up.
You know,
All you need is water every 3 days
Yeah.
and a piece of bread every 3
Man,
weeks.
And a
Okay,
peanut
so-
butter and jelly sandwich
so-
with a Jesus pamphlet in it. That's all you need.
let me tell you about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Like,
Yeah.
I tour with this group now, and they're all older cats, you know, like in their 60s. And so I used to do. They've never done the rugged tours. They're professional musicians, right? They got tour bus and everything,
Yeah.
right? So they're about 3:00 in the morning. We're down the road and they go, man, I'd love a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And we pull over to the Pilot. And they go in and they're looking for bread, and they're like, $12 for a loaf of bread, and and they're getting ready to pay for this stuff.
Yeah.
And then they look over at me, and I've got like 6 hot dog buns and the little packets of free peanut butter and jelly right there, and I'm going to the front, and I go, how much you want for all this? And she goes, you know what? I think you need it more than I do. You take it. And they were like, holy fuck, dude. And I go,
Survivalist.
You got,
the
you can do
world
it
will
less.
provide if you
Yeah.
just listen
Yeah.
to what's going on around you. Be aware. That's the only rule we ever had on the road was you can't do this, you can't do that. It wasn't nothing like that. It was be aware. The universe will take care of you. The world will take care of you, but you got to be open to accepting different outcomes that are not exactly what you thought they would be.
What was the worst when you was on stage and somebody threw the beer glass at you?
Dude, I got hit in the face. My second tour out was in Sarasota, Florida. And I was selling merch and my other band was playing. And I caught a full pint glass to the side of to my chin. It shattered and just all over the room. I'm bleeding all over the place. It was Halloween. I know it was Halloween because there was a hippie dude with dreadlocks, and there was this big fat redneck dude who was dressed up like a military guy, and he had one of those what do they call those things with the whatever. Anyway, and so he's got this hippie in the middle of the dance floor, choking him with his own dreadlocks and whipping him with this belt. And everybody's piling in.
Yeah.
And I just looked up to. I was selling some old lady behind the pool table. I was selling her a CD, and everything was going well. She might have bought 2, and I looked up and caught a pint glass right there in the face. And I'm bleeding all over the place, and I'm just trying to get backstage. And my drummer, we had done a radio interview, something like this, but it was before podcast. It was before podcast. The radio interview guy was standing back there, and our drummer was sitting there drumming, and he goes, "Who the fuck hit you? Who hit you?" And I have no idea, and I just go, "That guy." And he jumps off the drum kit and tackles this redneck dude who's beating the shit out of this hippie. And the radio DJ just slides on in and keeps going.
Wild.
And so what I've learned from that is that if you're the band, you're the music for the brawl, because the minute you stop playing, you're involved.
Keep playing.
Keep playing.
Keep playing. Well, you got to go down with the Titanic.
Yeah,
you know.
keep
I'm a
playing.
lover, not a fighter.
Yeah.
Keep
Show
playing.
must go on.
The
I
show
got-
must go on.
Dude, we were playing a liquor store down in Florida. It all happens in Florida. I'm playing this liquor store in Florida.
Playing
One of my-
Yeah,
one of my
wait, what?
one of my favorite places in the world,
Russ,
Florida. I'm
hold on,
sorry,
Russ.
but
No, hold on.
rough
Russ.
as shit.
What, like a ABC store?
Well, they don't have ABC stores.
Not,
It's privately
package?
owned.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right. So
So there's a stage.
there's a stage in there, and
Oh,
it's like a
that's
bar,
tough.
and you can sell liquor.
Oh, that's hard. Okay,
Yeah, so
Florida
I
get
was
down
playing one of
different.
those, and we were playing for these punk rockers. They had booked the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had booked the show, and we're sitting up there playing. I think I'm playing. I got this song called "Black, White, or Gay." Jesus don't give a fuck, right? So I'm playing this song, "Black, White, or Gay," where you're black, white, or gay. Jesus, he don't give a fuck. Well, okay, so before that, one of my big fans was this lady. Was the daughter of the Warlocks Motorcycle Club president.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so she would come to my shows and show up with a couple of bikes. Okay, well, then you got the punk rockers. So I'm playing Black, White, or Gay. Everybody's got to get along, and this punk rocker dude just hits this dude in the head with a beer bottle, and it goes
Chaos.
all to hell. And I'm looking at everybody going, take another solo, dude. We got to play till the cops
Play
get
it
here.
out, yeah.
Please. Right? And then after that, so the punk, everything cleared out. The motorcycle guys and punk rockers, they kind of fucking separated. The cops got there. We kept going. We're off stage later. And it was that moment where, okay, so the promotion of the gig was the punk rock people. Well, my guitar player, it wasn't Trey at the time, my guitar player at the time is over there like buddying with the motorcycle club, fucking going, yeah, man, that's right, give them guys hell. And I'm like, dude, those are the ones that are paying us. You know, so, man, fuck those guys. You know, I don't know how we got on that subject, but you know, I've done a lot of stuff. We've done a lot of stuff. I book these shows now for these guys, and I believe that touring aspect of the bottom of the bottom, people being like, you've been all over the damn country. I've been everywhere. Like Johnny Cash said, but I ain't seen nothing but the back alley and the bars. I don't see no giant ball of rubber band or the big toilet or Grand Canyon. Fuck no.
Getting it in on the road.
True grassroots.
If you're doing it to make money or meet women, you might as well just stop now.
Look, I spent most of my
Right.
nights at the truck stop or the TA or the Pilot. Man, I still love Pilot Meatloaf.
Yeah. Oh,
You know
man,
what
on
I
the
mean?
meatloaf. Hell yeah.
I'm just saying, like, you start to live in this area where it's not about what you have. It's
Exactly.
about
The
how you
experience.
live, and it's the
Yeah.
experience. And you're like almost. See, the thing is like there's a difference between a bum and a vagrant. You know, like
Explain.
like
Vagrant. I don't even know what that word means. I'm gonna
Explain.
so.
Look
like,
it up. Tell us the definition.
So you've got these people that are homeless, right? And like I was once, and so, but they're staying in the same spot. They sleep on the same bench. They drink the same beer. They get fucked up the same ways. They do the same ways. They're not doing anything. They're just being. And then you have like, what is your what do they call them people, like the train hoppers? What, hobos. Hobos and vagrants. Well, we're homeless too. But we keep going.
Nomads.
And it's so much easier to keep traveling when you have nothing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like with these guys, with the musicians and people that we work with, I think you got to have a certain level of that grind to succeed. And if you don't have that, it ain't worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't have that, like I can live in a parking lot 22 hours out of the day and not get us kicked out, not cause a scene, you know, and then rock out for 2 hours and go to the next town and do that. And to do that for 3 or 4 months at a time.
Yeah.
You know, we were broke down. We weren't broke down. We were out of gas in the RV. Didn't have enough gas to run a generator. And we sit in our underwear, 4 of us, in our underwear, crawling all over each other, fucking watching Crank 2 with no air conditioner in an Oklahoma Lowe's parking lot.
Bro, it's hot out there.
For 4 fucking days because we only had enough gas to get to the next gig.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's real.
That's
Okay.
I bet there was some smells in that.
You ain't got a choice.
Yeah.
You're living it, man.
Yeah.
You ain't got a choice. You can't go home. There ain't no going home.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You go. What is that guy's name? That was Walk Hard.
Dewey Cox.
Dewey Cox was right. You're gonna miss some births. You're gonna miss some deaths. You're gonna miss some family events. You know, when my grandfather died, I was 6 days away from being home, but I couldn't stop and come home.
Stop and come home.
I had to go gig to gig to gig to get there. You know, like if you're an artist, you're going to embark on this life and you have to give it everything you've got, your life, and let it figure out what's going on. Otherwise, you're just wasting a talent, man, and to some aspects, because we're all going to miss these things. We're all going to be these,
You know,
in
and
these spots.
that's where I struggle, you know, because my grandparents are 82, 81.
Yeah.
I know, like, if I'm gone and something happened, like, that's hard.
That's a hard
It's
reality.
hard.
Yeah.
It's real hard, especially when, you know, I've grown up around my family
Yeah,
my
your
entire
whole
life.
So it's close.
That's it. Like, my family is it. Like,
Yeah.
everything. Like, our land is, that's all we fucking have. You know what I'm
That's all we
saying?
got.
Yeah.
And that's a hard pill to swallow.
It's a hard pill to swallow. Yeah, like
Yeah.
to go out
and-
there and do
but
it.
also like that can keep you from chasing your dream or chasing.
Yeah,
you,
can't-
right.
yeah,
you
like,
know,
oh, I gotta stay,
you
I gotta
want to
be
stay
here, I gotta
rooted.
be-
You want to stay rooted to these people. Or
But at the same time, you'd never forgive yourself if you would.
Yeah.
You know,
But you know-
but the thing is you wouldn't forgive yourself at the same time. The person you're worried about,
They would
they would want you to be out
Exactly.
there.
Exactly.
And so you got to get outside of yourself and know that they're
And know-
okay,
yeah.
and know that the time that you spent with them. And
That's a
I'm
big
not
part
saying
of it.
don't be
Don't be
not
there,
spend
but-
time with
yeah.
them, but
don't
but
leave and never come back, but life moves on,
It's a
and,
balance.
Exactly.
and we've got to understand that nobody is here forever. We've got 100 good years.
Yeah.
If
and
that,
if
not
that-
even, not
yeah,
even.
not even that. Like maybe.
Yeah.
3/4 if you're fucking
Right.
lucky.
In the first 18, you ain't doing shit.
You
Nothing.
ain't doing shit but fucking slaving away in the fucking school system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, something you were talking about like, if you look for it, like a situation will provide your necessities. Like you were talking about going to the pilot and getting the bread and the free peanut butter.
Positive,
Right.
positive affirmation.
Yeah.
The secret.
I've been like
secret.
you said, we all grew up in the church, so like I've been trying to get more into the Bible recently because I ran into this guy and he was telling me stuff about the Bible that I never knew. So I've been studying it a lot because it's like I don't even know the stuff that I grew up with. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so I just got done with Matthew, and something that was in Matthew 6 is like, God provides for the birds in the air, and like they never go hungry. So like, how much more are you than the birds in the air? Like,
Right.
You're not.
Right.
Yeah.
You are absolutely not. You think you are because you have this thing and it goes, I'm the shit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you ain't nothing but fucking dust.
Listen, I'll be at work. And you know, you work around the forest quite a bit. You
Right.
know, like you'll see a fucking squirrel just casually run across the road in front of traffic,
Fat.
make it across, run up the tree, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you're like, why can I not live the life of that squirrel?
Just free.
Just
You ain't got
fucking
no-
like that
just
squirrel.
free.
That squirrel has no care in the world.
None.
That squirrel is living its best
That's
life.
because
He's just out here trying to get a nut.
He's just out here trying to get a fucking
it.
nut.
Oh,
dude.
That's because
Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
that's because he ain't got 3 kids and a wife and
But-
a house payment and driving a Lexus and she's got a Hyundai.
If you think technological age, like even pre
That's-
like pyramid
Yeah.
technology, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
I had a friend that told me that no man is successful until he has a wife that has a hobby business that loses $10,000 a month.
Now that's some satire if I've ever heard it.
But it's the truth.
It's just
But
the
what-
fucking truth.
but what-
That's what
but-
the standard of we're living in is like. You're not successful until you have.
But
a,
humans can live like the squirrel.
They
We
can.
could, yeah.
And the thing is,
We do.
I
They could.
see it.
They could.
I've seen it for years. I've been on the road for fucking years, and I've seen it. You can.
You can
You can. It's just you have to be willing to take
risk.
if risks. And say you have this idea is, man, I'd like to eat a steak sandwich,
Crossing
Right.
the road.
right? But the universe provided a peanut butter and jelly on a hot dog bun.
On a hot dog.
take
And
it.
you've got to
Take
be accepting of taking that and appreciative of that you live to see another day.
Right.
And that's it. That's it. You live to see another day.
Because
That's
Mother
it.
Nature does never promises tomorrow.
Never.
It's never promised. Ever.
It's been.
That's in the
Like,
Bible.
That's like we were
You're
talking
never
about,
promised tomorrow.
You know, kids that don't know, third world or first world problems or whatever. But like, it surprises me how many young people have never been to a funeral. You know, people that are in their 20s now. You know, by the time I was like 20-year-old, I'd have been like.
Yeah,
20.
A lot. We
A
went to
lot.
all of them,
A
got
lot of
ice cream
funerals.
afterwards.
And there's like kids that I meet now, they're like 26, 27, almost 30-year-old.
Dude, funerals still bother me. I've not been to many funerals.
No.
A handful. I can count them on one hand, to be honest with you.
Mm.
So I know, like, the older I get and the longer this timeline keeps ticking, like, I know, like,
Yeah.
okay, that's going to start growing
Yeah.
exponentially.
Yeah.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, by the time I'm 35, like,
It'll. Yeah.
it's going to be hard. Like I just know, like, I've had it easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm 27. I've had it easy. Real easy.
It's going to compile.
So it's gonna
piles up.
But I think that's good.
It's
that
gonna
you know.
pile up
That's-
eventually.
I think it's good that you're just aware of that. That's the problem. Is like not a lot of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, I'm
Like,
super
you know,
aware. It
like,
freaks
you're
me the
aware,
fuck out every
hey, I've
day.
had it kinda
Every
easy.
day.
Like it might get rough. Like
Every day.
and people don't even think about like, oh, I've had it easy. They think,
Well,
oh, I've had it.
No,
so
I've
hard.
had it
here's
easy.
the
Every
thing
day I
is
think about it.
him thinking about that and knowing and acknowledging that is him working through that before it actually
Before it
happens. So
even
when it
comes, so-
happens, it will not
Right.
be such
Hell
a big.
yeah.
And that's the mind working through the situation to deal with the emotional side of it and the reality of it before it actually happens.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's called being aware. You
Yeah.
know.
And that's
I think-
motivation.
I think that's why you get a dog when your kids are born. So by the time they're 12, they done been through something. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, son,
Didn't
damn.
think about that. Didn't think about that.
Yeah, and at 11 and a half, you hand them the pistol and the bullet. And you say,
Hey, listen,
take him out back,
funny.
son.
Listen, that's funny because my parents bought a dog, a fucking boxer. Okay, my brother was born in '99. Were you born in '99?
Yep.
All right, my brother was born in '99.
Yeah.
My parents bought a boxer like a month, if that, a month
Right.
after my brother was born, '99. So like
Y'all
I
about to
done,
go
I
through
done, I
something.
done been through that
There's some
dog's
trauma
death.
headed your
Like,
way. Yeah.
It's already done happened.
My
They're
first
preparing
dog
us.
was skinned
They're
by a
preparing us.
coyote. You know?
Oh,
Yeah, man, that's
So,
it. So,
so
yeah.
one question I want to ask y'all before we get off here. So, if you had to be a part of a band that's made it, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you could go back and you got to be whatever part of that band that made it that you love and know, what band would that be?
Kiss.
Good question.
Kiss.
Hell yeah, that's a
Any
good one.
day, Kiss, man. I've always dreamed of putting on that fucking makeup, hearing them
Leather
bombs
bands.
blow off. I know all the fucking cues. I've learned all the fucking moves.
Like a dude.
I learned it. I
ready.
fucking
I
watched
learned
it religiously from the time I was 3 years
holy
old to the
shit.
time I was 12 and learned it religiously.
Okay, what you got, Russ?
That's a hard question.
And,
you
and
say?
You go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
All right.
I don't know if I can
now,
answer
are you
this.
asking be a part of or be the?
Be a part of.
Ooh.
Or unless if the band is the one person that you can be the.
Like honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many fucking
Holy
artists out there
fuck.
that I appreciate.
Right.
But
You
I'd
gotta
have
pick
to
one.
say probably Rick James.
Why would
Oh,
you do
yeah.
that?
Oh, that's tough.
Like,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
tough.
because
Hell yeah.
it was an innovator.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, it broke a lot of barriers.
Yeah.
He still
Like-
talks
just like
about
Red
like
Fox,
right now.
you
He's
know,
still talked
he's-
about in our culture. Rick James.
Rick James is one of the finest orchestrators. Sorry, Quincy Jones, but you know, Rick James was, I mean, and well, he is no more, but one of the best. You know, and that's another sad story because the drugs took him away from being the best.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like I
Happens a
said,
lot.
there's a fine line,
Yeah.
and then once you tip the other side, there ain't no coming back.
It's over. What you got, Trey? Who's
I'm gonna say the Stones.
Stones? You know them? I don't know.
Stones.
Rolling Stones?
Great stylists.
Oh, the Rolling Stones?
The Rolling Stones.
Oh, hell yeah.
Great
Hell yeah.
stylists. They all look fucking great through all eras of the Stones,
wait a
bro. They
minute. Is
all
that
were
what we're
fucking
talking about?
were
Shit, Rick
perfectly
James'
fucking
glitter.
dressed, had perfect fucking hair, perfect clothes, perfect everything, bro.
Perfect feel. Let's not talk
Perfect
about, let's
feel,
not forget
perfect
the
music.
Feel of the music. Stones are always impeccable.
Impeccable.
Even now, I mean,
Just
See,
brilliant. Just
Here's the thing.
classy as fuck, but also the
Dirty
dirtiest
and gritty.
motherfuckers you ever seen in your life,
classy,
but the
yeah.
classiest motherfuckers you ever seen in your life.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
You know, I would love
said
to
dirty
have
but
been a
classy.
part
I
of
like that one.
You
any
can be
kind of
knighted by the government and knighted by Sir Mick Jagger, but also evade your taxes for
Yeah.
50
So
years.
Trey
Motherfucker,
Price.
I'll knight you right now if you want me to. Here, I don't care. United, Sir
Hell
Jacob.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
listen.
just, hey, I just want some snakeskin Chelsea boots, bro.
boots.
You know what I'm talking about? With some fucking 3-inch heels.
Oh, hell.
All right, rock out. Hey man, we listen, man. We appreciate y'all coming through, man. This was
Appreciate
fucking
y'all
dope.
having us. This is a badass
Hell
podcast.
yeah.
Like I said,
Appreciate y'all, bro.
You're
Y'all got any-
23.
y'all got
This
anything?
motherfucker knows what it's about, motivating people and
Hell
knowing
yeah.
what he's got before it's gone. And then you run out of
Appreciate that,
time.
man.
Eventually, you're gonna run out of time. You get off your fucking ass and do something.
Damn
Just
right.
like
Y'all
this
got
podcast
anything
will
y'all wanna
end.
Promote like social medias or any songs or
Yeah,
any shows, anything.
Yeah, you go first.
I got Jakeb Reel on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube.
That's
Amazon Music.
JAKEBREEL.
We got
Spell it
Russ T
out.
Nutz.
Get Russ T Nutz on Spotify, but well, sometimes, maybe not all the time, but I'm there. You can find me on them there YouTubes, and you can check out some of our other artists. We got Trey Price, Wayne Pennington, and
Wayne Pennington.
My name is Ned.
My name
My
is
name is
Ned.
Ned.
Jason Punkneck, the Punknecks. check them all out. It's all artists that we work with.
The White Oak Splits.
The White Oak Splits.
I'm gonna announce this right here. Wanless Broom. Look for Wanless Broom
Wanless
in the
Broom is
future.
coming.
That's
Wanless
Trey's
Broom.
band. We're getting ready to knock one out.
Hell yeah.
Knock one out, bro.
And we're underground, so if you don't find us, you come find us.
You come find us. We're around. We're everywhere that you
gotta
never
come
wanted to
looking.
look.
Look, there is 7 degrees of everyone that we're associated with, so someone will know who we are. Come find us and get our shit, because it may not be on the digital world for much longer, and if it's not, you're gonna have to come out, and we're gonna have to come to you. So that's what we're trying to do this year is infiltrate that grassroots scene and take them a little bit of dirty shit. We're all adults, you know what I mean? Like, we all just want to have fun. It ain't about being so fucking serious all the time.
No serious. We don't want to offend. We do want to offend, but we also don't want to offend.
Yeah,
you
I
know
like
what I
that.
mean.
That's
Like
cool.
we want to be the kind of
Wanna
offensive
offend
that
you
makes you
politely.
think.
We
That makes you
love,
think
we love
about-
everybody,
Exactly.
but we can't stand some people.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Hey, I ain't even lie. I like that. That's the closer right there. That's hard. That's hard as fuck.
And we'd be happy to come on here and do this again and talk
You
about the
damn
aliens.
right.
We
and
should
all
we
the
should
fucking
definitely do
government.
this again.
And we'll talk about some more real shit.
This is the longest one we've had, bro. I appreciate this, man. It's the Qualified to Motivate podcast. Y'all tap in with the Rusty Nuts,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
Qualified.
Thank you for
Qualified,
listening. Thank y'all
goddamn.
for watching. Thank you for
Qualification,
being here.
Thank you.
Hey, can we all do the devil eyes?
What is that? I'll fucking do it. Rock out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.